What's going on, y'all? It's your boy, Darius the Great, here to give you my honest review of, as you can see here, Spider-Man Lotus. Well, um, first thing first, before I even get into this review, go ahead and refill on what got me through the latter stages of this movie, if you can even call it that. Let me just go ahead. Let me just go ahead, man. Let me just go. Let me just go ahead. Just yeah. I'm gonna need. I'm gonna need a little bit of this. Just a little bit. Not that much. Ah, Spider-Man Lotus, huh? Spider-Man Lotus. If you've been living under a rock, if you're just not aware of what it is, Spider-Man Lotus is this fan film made by these guys. This Gavin guy who was the director. Apparently he like did it because he hated Spider-Man Far From Home just that much, and he thought that he could truly show that he understood Spider-Man. He could make a better Spider-Man movie than the MCU and Kevin Feige could. Um, did he actually do that? Well, no, not really. Mm-mm. Not really. No. This movie. This movie is one of the most pretentious things I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen a lot of pretentious things. Like this is what this movie, this fan film is. And by the way, it's 2 hours. 2 hours too long. I don't know who in their right mind thought this should be 2 hours, bro. A fan film generally is like 30 to 45 minutes, maybe even 50 minutes or so. 2 hours? You're crazy. Out of your mind. Makes no sense, right? And I felt all those 2 hours. I had to stop and take a break, and then I went to work, and then I came back and I finished the rest of it, like the second hour of it, and I was just like, dear God, man, I don't even. Okay, where do I start? Where do I start? This film, basically is about Spider-Man, Peter Parker after the death of Gwen Stacy at the hands of Green Goblin, right? And I guess I'll say spoiler warning for this, but who gives a damn? Okay, this is after Gwen is killed by Green Goblin, Norman Osborn. And like we see flashbacks, we see times where like Peter and MJ and Gwen and Harry, the four of them, best of friends, always hanging out, such good times. And we see all of Peter and Gwen together. We see this montage of them just doing stuff, going out, hanging out, and it's very long. It's like it gets to a point where I'm just like, I get it. They were hanging out, they were in love. I get it. I got it. But then it just keeps going. Then we get to see how Peter is coping with Gwen's death and how he was going to, propose to her, and he never did. And we just see a lot of Peter Parker being sad. And we see a lot of Harry Osborn being sad because apparently, after Peter beat Norman's ass, I forgot, something happened. It was just like, I think Norman faked his death or something like that. I don't know if he actually died. I'm pretty sure he faked his death, but like anyway, Harry thinks Norman's dead, and like we get a bunch of Harry being sad as well. This is what this the bulk of this fan film, right, is Peter Parker being sad. And then there's also Harry Osborn being sad. And MJ having to go and talk to both of them individually at different points. When she tries to go and talk to Peter, he just brushes her off. Not even brush her off. He just tells her off. Like, oh no, you never really cared about Gwen or anything like that. You're just a leech. And all that. I'm just like, okay, all right, whatever, sure. That's what Peter would say to MJ. Sure. Oh God. All right. Let me try and let me try and go into what I liked about this before I fully go off into why I don't like this, why this is terrible. Okay, what I did like, right? The CGI, the special effects, mostly pretty good. I mean, I know like the budget for this, like it's pretty big for a fan film. I believe it's like $100,000, which obviously for like an actual movie, you can't make a movie with that budget. But for the budget, for what they did, I thought the bulk of the CGI special effects of Spider-Man swinging around and stuff in the suit looked okay. Other stuff at times looked like PS3 graphics. But other than that, it was fine. The action sequences, all like two of them, were pretty good. They're all right, you know. The acting was, I'll say, decent at best. It was. Um, that's about where it ends, man. Because the rest of this is just not good. The rest of this is just someone who clearly thinks they're better than what they actually are. They think they're so better than what the MCU did with Spider-Man. They're gonna show Kevin Feige. They're gonna show John Watts, and it's just like you miss the mark so much, man. Like, just like on the technical side of things, right? The editing is terrible. Too many needless establishing shots, right? Too many needless fading to black, all right? I'm no director, but even I could see, I was just like, we're fading to black again! And then, you know, like the music of this, like there's, when Spider-Man is doing Spider-Man things, you know, the theme, the score is pretty good. It has like an ode to the 90s animated series theme, the, you know, dun 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 dun, you know, like it has that. But the rest of the music and the rest of this is just sad piano. It's just sad piano music, because that's what this fan film is, man. It's just Peter Parker being sad, and it's too much. It's too long. It was boring. Like, man, I'm a big Spider-Man fan. I am. Spider-Man is my favorite superhero of all time. Marvel or DC, doesn't matter. My favorite. Quite possibly my favorite character in all of fiction. You know, he might have to talk to Darth Vader about that, but it's pretty close. And I can tell you that the people who wrote this, the guy who directed this, they think Spider-Man is only a depressed dude who has like nothing going on. And that's just not the case. And look, even modern Spider-Man writers, they just think Peter is just a depressed, sad boy. That's all they think he is. Like, that's all they write about him now. Like, things don't go well for him. Oh, it's the Parker luck. Oh, it sucks to be Peter Parker. And it's just like, what you don't get about Peter Parker, right? What they clearly didn't get about Peter Parker is that, yes, life for him often sucks. Things often does not go his way. He often loses the people he cares about. But guess what? What does he do? He takes it on the chin and he keeps going because he has to. Because if he doesn't, the city will fall without him. He has a responsibility to help people. So he's not just going to sit and mope and like waste away. No, he's going to be like, all right, man, look, this was a huge blow to my life. It's sad. It hurts. But guess what? I had to pick myself back up and get on out there. Okay? Like, look at the Amazing Spider-Man 2, right? When Gwen died at the end of that, right? We spent like 5 minutes on Peter being sad because of that. And we got the gist of it. We got the point. And then, you know, as everything was going terrible, they're like, we need Spider-Man back. Aunt May gave him a pep talk, and he's like, you know what? Yeah. Like, even though she didn't know that she was giving Spider-Man a pep talk. He was just like, all right, yeah. The city needs Spider-Man. And like, yeah, sure, it was a montage, it was a time skip, but like we spent a small amount of time with sad Peter Parker, and then we got straight back to, all right, he's good, he's in a good place right now. He's Spider-Man again. He's the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, helping people, stopping supervillains. But this right here, this took, you know, Peter being sad after Gwen died and made that the whole movie. a whole 2 hours of it. And I'm just like, whew, there was no reason for the bulk of this movie to be sad Peter Parker. There was no reason. It's just, and there's this one like plot point with this kid who's like, I don't know, dying from like cancer or some type of terminal illness. Peter goes to him in Spider-Man costume, right? Because like he wrote the kid wrote the Daily Bugle a letter, and then MJ got the letter from the Daily Bugle and gave it to Peter so he could give it to Spider-Man. And he goes to see this kid, and he starts talking to this kid about all its adventures as Spider-Man, and he tells him that all the stuff you hear from the Bugle about all the amazing stuff I did, it's not really true. It's just people talking. So like, because I believe the kid starts rattling off events from the comics of what Spider-Man did, and he's like, yeah, that's just stories. It's like the Logan. They tried to do the Logan thing where like, you remember in Logan when he picked up the comic book with X-23 with Laura, and he was like, well, this is all just stories people wrote about what we did, but half of it happened, half of it's just made up. They tried to do something like that, and it just didn't work the same way. And then the best and worst part of this movie is when Spider-Man sits down with this dying kid and trauma dumps on him, just tells him all about the Uncle Ben scenario, how he let Uncle Ben's killer get away, and it ended up costing him. And it's just like, he's telling this kid all about this, all like, I felt so bad, his death was my fault. And I'm just like, you're trauma dumping on an 8-year-old kid. When would Spider-Man ever do that? If you want to see Spider-Man talking to a kid, like having a good back and forth with a kid, inspiring the kid, look at Amazing Spider-Man 2, when that kid at the end who like has the Spider-Man costume on, remember earlier in the movie, he like helps him, web up and fix up like his school project, and he talks to him, he's like walking him home. That's good right there. Even in like the in the 90s series, in the animated cartoon, like Spider-Man goes to talk to this kid. I'm pretty sure in that cartoon the kid was also like dying of cancer or something. They had this beautiful conversation. Guess what? Did not trauma dump on him. And I'm just like, these people don't get Spider-Man. These people, it's like Zack Snyder and Superman. Like, these people think they think they're so deep. They think you're so deep, and that they're unlocking this revolutionary way to look at Spider-Man. And I'm just like, no, you're not. You're just looking at one facet of Spider-Man and making it the entire movie. It's like Zack Snyder with Superman. He's just like, yeah, let me take this one idea of Superman with humans, and like how he could feel conflicted about that, and let me make that an entire movie. Let me make that his entire character. This was not it. And like, obviously we know, I mean, if you don't know, there's a big controversy around this movie with the actor who plays Spider-Man, in terms of some comments and stuff he's made about, people of my skin complexion. Apparently there's like some new stuff too about just like potential grooming and stuff. I don't know. Can I even say that word on YouTube? I don't think I can. But hair grooming. But it's kind of karma that this movie is not good. Like, all the pomp and circumstance, and then all the controversy, and then it comes out and it's not good. It's just pretentious. There's clear ego and spite in this film, and it's just like, nah, man. Nah, this is not good at all. I give it I don't even know what to give it. But the fact that it's 2 hours, right? But that's what the credits, which even the credits is full of just sad piano. My God. This movie is feature length, being 2 hours. And I just want to say to the people who who made this, to the director more than anything, because this was like his passion projects. This was his, I'm going to show Kevin Feige, I'm going to show John Watts in the MCU, I know Spider-Man. Me, you don't know Spider-Man. You don't know Spider-Man. No. That Homecoming, Far From Home. No, that's not Spider-Man. I know Spider-Man. For him, congratulations. You made the worst feature-length Spider-Man film of all time. I give this an F. I do. I give it an F. It was not good at all. And I was only able to get to the second half with the help of a good drink. And man, woo! It certainly helped me. And it's helping me right now get to this review. Anyway, y'all. I gotta go. I just had to give this review out. I did pull a poll out, and you guys said, all two of you who voted said, yeah, man, go ahead, watch it and review it. So I did. And I will never get these 2 hours back. I wish I had that, you remember that episode of SpongeBob when Mr. Krabs was like being generous, and then at a certain point he stopped being generous, and like the one dude who was watching TV in the Krusty Krab, he grabbed the remote and pressed it so that the memory of the TV show he watched went back into the TV screen. I want that to happen right now, because this was just not good. Good Lord. Holy shit.